Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning.
Go ahead and do your show, man. I was trying to get out the way. He didn't say
People just wandered in the shot. You know, she could have been eating a sandwich. Just kind of walked in. Just walked in. No, don't mind the woman you see. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Clark.
Good morning.
Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Jermaine. Good morning, everybody. Let me do this real quickly. Our book of the day, because it's President's Day. Somebody said, I am my mother's special child. Someone sent a meme to me yesterday saying that I'll celebrate President's Day when we get one. My first reaction was, we had a black president? No, they was talking about the current president. I was like, dude, you so stupid, man.
Oh, so you mean literally
when we went right, black. It's Black History Month, man. So anyway, this is a great book, and this is from my mom's library. The New York Times did a whole thing. It's called Obama, the Historic Journey. There are articles that they did on Obama. They go and cover his pictures. Incredible. So again, if this book, I think you still can get it. You can go out. But this is from my mom's library. And so
For real? That's what we're gonna keep doing. That's what we're gonna keep doing. we're gonna just keep. That's Debo doing it, right? Okay. I just want to know who to check.
So what was it? Because you had the Silver's Bush, and then it's kind of.
Are you referring to my afro?
Yeah, we call them bushes. So you had this bush.
I had an afro.
Okay, sister, I got all of that. Around the way, we called it a bush. Did you use a rake? How'd you pick it up?
I had a pick.
You didn't do the rake?
No. I'm not allowed that.
Okay.
So I had a pick with the fist.
Well, I like that, but you got that kind of tie-dye, laid to the side.
You had to do all of it.
Well, you look good in that picture.
Thank you.
Like the color?
Cross colors was popping.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be in your way, but I had not seen the obituary.
Yeah, let me
Oh, this is crazy.
couple yeah, man. Let me now we were talking off the air and I'm just telling you that
Did you feel this?
I felt it.
This feel. I've never felt an obituary that feels deep. Like this thing feels like money. Jesus Christ.
So what can you hold it up?
For me.
Can you hold it up so they can see it?
Yes.
Hold it up in the camera shot. This
Oh my
is
God,
the
that is
program
beautiful.
for Eddie, Nathaniel, Nate, Luckett. There it
Turn
is.
the back around. The back cover. You can see it really good there. That is beautiful, man.
You got two things going on when it comes to style.
Oh my God.
You have a mortician and you have a quartet singer.
What does that mean?
Oh, quartets be clean. They be clean. And your mortician, they clean too. So we had a chance to go to the homegoing of Brother Nate Luckett. Now, y'all know I'm ignorant. I'm so ignorant. So I walk in and hey, and like Michelle said, there were so many roses, right? So walked up and walked by. They had Nate in full repose. Now people just know that means the entire casket is open. He almost got buried barefoot. He had on they put some shoes on Nate.
His shoes.
The shoes.
He had on some red bottoms.
So those are Christian Louboutins.
Louboutins.
I'm telling you.
Are you serious?
I walk.
Yeah.
I'm a shoe
yeah,
guy.
of course I know.
Yeah.
His shoes were sick.
Michelle.
Oh my God, what?
Michelle.
Those shoes was
Michelle.
They was
Me and Rod, I was laughing that, if I would have had some private time back then,
y'all gonna jack they four shoes.
Oh man, those shoes.
One on me.
Lord, I don't know what I do.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Oh, Lord.
The shoes was sick like that.
Yes. Yeah, man. Oh my God. So let me really Michelle, as always, Michelle Pitts Luckett, an incredible job. Tributes was great.
But I've never seen an obituary like this. I'm gonna tell you, and I've seen 2 obituaries.
He's the same guy that did their
Mario Dickens.
did their Black
display.
History over at Jerusalem.
And the media came out yesterday for that display.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carmen McGee, for getting folks over there. Got the media over there to see what he had done.
So let me ask: anybody get to the repass? I know that was laid out. So, man, incredible tribute.
Man, look at this Luckett family picture. This is
you know how many Lucketts there?
It's all boys almost.
They took up the inside, like we were on the East Row, East Full Center. They took up the entire, and we had people in where we were. Whole lot of Lucketts.
Yeah, and the
22 children.
Musicians, like the majority of
he was one of
guitar
22.
Well, let's talk about the music.
Oh yeah, man, they were slamming.
Let's talk about
Russell and Big Neil. Woo.
Okay, who was Russell and who was Big Neil?
Sean Hinton.
Russell
Sean Hinton played.
Smith
singing.
Sean played.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Sean played. Afton played.
Yeah, man.
After Willie Banks, I should say Willie Banks. He sung. He did a great job.
Who busted about his suit? Busted about.
What? He had on a little bitty suit. Y'all so dirty, man. I can't stand.
I just overheard it. I just overheard
it. Y'all so dirty.
Boy.
But when he got up and sang, they put together a new quartet. It was Neil Robeson, Bishop Darrell Hines. I don't know who that third voice was. Tim Rogers. Yeah. Oh my man, I'm telling you. And then Neil Robeson, I guess he crossed the line.
Why? What happened?
So there was a sister got up, and when you and so she was going a little long, and so he said amen, which means wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she caught it. She caught the cue. So at the end, as he's wrapping it up, he started going down the path, and Bishop Hines said amen.
What goes around goes around.
The funny part was when Homer Blow came up and he was like, "Man, the music playing already." I didn't say nothing.
So man, just he's going to be missed. I think they're doing private committal today. They're doing private committal. They're not. But what I'm saying is,
they're meeting here
at 1 o'clock.
Everybody want to follow the procession can go out to Wisconsin.
Okay. I was hoping they did a little bit earlier so we could do our last mile of the.
She just posted.
1 o'clock. Okay. Last mile of the way. Let me thank Debo when Debo got up and gave his remarks.
What did Debo say?
Oh, Debo's on point, and then Debo when he talked about Bishop Hines' walk, I said, man, he had that walk. Yeah, he do. He got it. So he talked about how when Nate would get to right about the driveway of the station, the car would slow down to like 1.5 miles an hour.
Right.
And then he'd get right here, and he said, no matter what Keith was doing, he would stop and say, let me shout out the good folks at the New Pitts Mortuary, Brother Nate Luckett and Deacon Michael Jones. So here's the story. So Michael Jones has talked to me at church yesterday. He said, I know, man, you look for that. That's your thing. You look for him. 2 things you look for, him and Batesville Caskets, right? So he came by. So he was going to take a body to the church. He got to the corner, and I said, let me, and Mike was gone.
He don't know. He don't know how to go.
Debo said,
he don't understand the assignment.
Debo said, hey, so for you guys that's driving that, slow down. Don't drive so fast.
Yeah, but and once Nate figured it out, he get the shout out, man. He and then sometimes the light be green. He ain't moving. He ain't moving. So let me, man.
And the
that
work
was-
that went into this obituary
yeah,
is
just
Mario
incredible.
Dickens.
That's incredible.
He outdid himself.
Well,
This thing is incredible.
so
But the feel of it, Lord.
let me thank my
Did
colleagues
you feel it?
from WNOV. Let me thank Michelle Bryant. Let me thank Miss Carmen McGee. They came through and had to sit through the message yesterday.
It was great. You
But
did a wonderful job.
let me talk about the other Michelle.
Oh, please do.
Let me talk about the other Michelle. Miss Michelle, did you know that that's Johnny Lathan's niece?
No, I didn't.
That's Johnny Lathan's niece.
No.
Yeah. Miss Michelle Haywood, she is the chief of police at UW Stevens Point, right? She's a retired Milwaukee Police Department captain, and she gave a great presentation yesterday. But man, talk about Black History Month and her. That was a great choice. That was a great choice. But yeah, that's
She couldn't hardly even get through her comments. So she talked about first of all, her mom instilling in her all the values that would make her be able to withstand, endure, and succeed in the Milwaukee Police Department. She gives homage to the first Black woman who, when she became a Milwaukee police officer, they weren't even called, the women were not called police officers. And I have her name written down because I knew I was going to forget the sister's name. But the story, like she was tearful through almost the entire remarks. And you could tell all the stuff that wasn't being said about what this woman's journey had been like to be one of the first, Black women to travel this path, and what that has meant, and then the challenges. And she talked about being in the room and people questioning your intelligence, questioning your ideas, your competency, challenging you. Somebody else, if they're decisive, if they handle stuff in a certain way, they're decisive. If you handle it in this way, you're a problem. You're aggressive. And so all that wasn't said, that so many Black people in that room understood when she made her remarks. I teared up when she was talking, because I've listened to my mother. When my mother talked about people wanted to make her the CNA instead of the nurse, and people, questioning how you got in a room and how did you get on this floor, and just the level of disrespect after you had worked so hard. So I was enamored with her comments. She said that some little girl came up to her afterwards that was talking about law enforcement. And I just want to say, I saw Rachel. Rachel, who was the first one to sell us Girl Scout cookies. And Rachel's now 19 years old and in college. For all of the folks that remember supporting Rachel and her dad when he was helping her sell her Girl Scout cookies, she is 19 years old. She is in college. Her dad is actually in rehab. Yep, he's having difficulty walking right now. But Rachel is going to school to be a nurse. And so she was so poised and so cool yesterday seeing her. So, but yeah, bro, your message was fire yesterday. I had to be honest. The ability to it basically was keep your eye on the prize. Just in a vernacular, in a manner in which a lot of us talk. I tell people I couldn't help but smile, because I remember how many times my daddy would say, "Hey, don't let nobody knock you off your square." I mean, that was the golden rule. I know you hot, you debating, you want to go back and forth, but you remember why you doing what you doing. And so to hear you go back and pull that forward, and even Pastor Williamson, it resonated with him. He was like, "Hey,
what do you know about DMX?"
Well, look. But Pastor Williamson, it sounds like you hit a nerve. They said hit dog or holler, because evidently when he was talking about his frustrations at what he's been seeing, politically, what you do with that frustration. And so it seems like it was funny. I said it was even a message for Pastor Williamson, from the way he talked about.
Well, originally the Sunday I was scheduled to preach the last, I think, fourth Sunday,
right?
And we had weather.
Yeah,
So
crazy
we
weather.
canceled church. So we canceled church, and I was going to talk about this fatigue that America's feeling right now. You know, you're just tired of this dude. I mean, it wears you down. And but then and let me. There was two things. My pastor had expressed that anger, but he wasn't the only one. And but it was the conversation I had with Eric Wallace, and I was telling folks that. And this is why, and I said it yesterday, this is why I love Black people. Nobody came up and hollered. They just calmly go, "You okay, bro?" At the funeral Saturday, brother came up. He was like, "You okay, bro?" Kwaku, but Kwaku, and maybe that was Kwaku caught me. He said, "Well, maybe that's the minister in you." But I cited something that Mr. Jones had said when he was interviewing me. He said, "What's your program gonna be about?" He said, now, Michelle, she do politics. I go, yeah. He said, well, I'll tell you, just be balanced. Just be balanced. And what I was getting was that people were mad. And what I told them, we're supposed to be mad. We're supposed to be angry. You can't see injustice and not get angry.
Right.
You can't see cruelty to humanity and not get angry. But it's what we do. The anger should have us to get out, you know, and I cited the righteous anger that people had in Minneapolis. They weren't in cold weather. They was in sub-zero weather, 100,000 people. Anger, you know, it is. So we should be able to do that. And part of, and I know people were watching the video. I don't know if you saw the video, the interview with Eric Wallace, but people were saying, you know, he was kind of smirking. He was. And that could get you.
Because I only saw what I saw here before I left.
Right. That could get you, you know. So if you get thrown off of your square, if you allow people to push you into something, you say it all the time, don't become what you hate. Right. But it must have resonated because all I heard was my nephew and my niece and my other niece, Kiona, they just kept, so anytime somebody don't let them throw you off your square. And the interesting thing was my, and I mentioned in church yesterday, let me shout him out again. My nephew, Brandon, just graduated from drill instructor school for the U.S. Air Force.
Right.
And so he's an E4. And he talked about it. Even Michelle came up because you can get so angry. I used to say this to staff, like you get staff send you an email. Oh, you hot. Oh, you ooh, you hot.
Like Debo's okay.
Yeah. So then I said, but learn how to disengage, because then you become the issue, right? Your behavior becomes the issue. Your reaction becomes the issue, not your measured response in terms of here's what happens, here's what's happened. Because I know what people were saying to me without ever saying it to me. They said, I would have messed him up.
But, you know, and I because I was listening to you yesterday, and I was thinking about and I was thinking about it. You know, and it's a number of things at play, because I think that while we will tell people, and as somebody who's been a supervisor, you know, in roles, I would always talk to the team members about, hey, look, you got to be able to articulate the problem, to your point, in a way that you don't become the problem. You know, so be able to outline what these folks have done, how it has impacted you, what needs to be the solution if we can come up with one. But if you start cussing and acting a fool, I'm no longer concerned about what they did. I need to deal with you. And then everything you telling me is lost in the you cussing and acting a fool.
And trust me, we had a union. That'd be the first thing they come in and talked about. Not the fact that your member just burned the building down.
Right.
They talking about how Keith reacted.
Yeah. And
Keith was, you start calling. And we do it. I mean, you get frustrated. You get angry. I have a book that I'm going to give to Jermaine, Cicero, and the ancient philosopher Cicero talks about how to make arguments.
You know, but I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this. I think though that there is a place to be visibly frustrated with people.
Mhm.
That's okay. You know, you just don't cross the line. But I talk about this when I talk about like people trying to police how Black folks grieve or how Black people respond to injustice. So Trayvon Martin is an example I most frequently use. When his parents were on Good Morning America and George Stephanopoulos talked about their dignified, you know, way in which they responded to their son's murder. And I'm like, but you don't get to define that for me. And it's okay for people to know I am furious about what happened. And not just because I say I'm furious. I'm okay with you seeing furious on my face. I'm okay with you seeing furious in my body movement. But again, even in doing that you don't do it in such a way that it overshadows what you're mad about. You know, I don't want Trayvon to be lost in my mad, but I'm not getting ready to sit here and smile for you and, you know, look all, you know, congenial and I'm not going to do that for you. You're going to see on my face that I'm hot. And so I think that that's the balance that we have to try to figure out, because too many people try to police our behavior and then want to tell us, you know, and then this is the bad part. White folks get to act a fool all day, every day.
Up in here, up in here.
Up in here. They get to show their whole behind. And don't nobody say nothing. But we have to be policed and managed. And then we feel ourselves doing it to ourselves, because as the captain of the police department at UW Stevens Point talked about, I can't show up the way these people show up. And that thing that hangs over us as Black people, that we consistently, we don't have we're not given the same room to be human that other people are. And our being upset is completely turned against us.
And I think that that's why, you know, every Black History Month, I feel like
okay, go ahead.
Every Black History Month, every Black History Month.
You and Jermaine, right?
Cut cross. 110. Cut cross on the 10th Street. But every Black History Month recently, I've been taking things away. Last year.
Meaning what? What does that mean?
I mean, things that I probably kind of blew by, I just kind of focused in on.
Okay.
Last year was Lift Every Voice and Sing. Because I used to think it was torturous to have to sing all 15 verses of that song. But then I focused in on the lyrics.
Yeah.
And when I focused in on the lyrics,
road.
You know, Stony the road we tried. Yeah. I mean, it was, then I go like, and this year, based on Henry Louis Gates' piece on Blacks and Jews in America. And to hear, I don't know if you heard this or have you seen it, there's some folks here who are Jewish. As a matter of fact, I met a young lady back in the day when Mom was at WGLB, whose family had been generational Black Jews.
Okay.
And the guy was talking about, everybody know the Seder meal is that meal that, you know, they remember the Exodus. And he says how Jewish people celebrate not so much the enslavement, but the liberation from the enslavement. So the slave story is important. We've been taught, get over slavery. That happened over 100-something years ago. You ain't slaves anymore. That would be Eric Wallace. You ain't slaves anymore. But we got to continue to tell the story. And so during Black History Month,
and this is the thing. Who's the one that has told us to get over it? That's the frustrating part. Because the people who didn't experience it are the ones that's trying to tell you to get over it. And therefore you got Black people, some Black people that are adopting that philosophy or ideology. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now though? Because the people that's telling you, and you're trying to act like this was something you just woke up with on your own and was like, oh, you know, move past it. We all have the same opportunities now. It's illegal.
The victim. Y'all acting like victims.
I'm telling you.
I heard a white preacher. Except, you know, when Black ministers get up and preach, they always talking about victimhood. Well, yeah. I mean, you act as if things have changed. And not only do we have equality, we have equity. One of the things in Eric Wallace's book that blew my mind, he said that equity is another word for covenantness. That black people want something that somebody else is. No, black people want full humanity.
So stupid.
Black people want the same
The very
access.
word equity means that.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean I want what you have. It means I want equal, comparable accessibility that takes into account my personal situation. That's what it means.
Let me ask a question. Is there a special tax rate for blacks and Latinos?
Yeah, no, we all paying.
We paying full freight,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Oh,
Right.
For everybody that might have got into school with either affirmative action or DEI or intense recruitment, was there a different academic standard for those folks who came into those schools?
No, but that's what people will try to tell you.
Oh,
that's what they will try to tell you.
Because last time I checked,
because you had to make room for people that had been systematically excluded.
But the impression
legally excluded.
But the impression you get that, they're not at the same standards.
No, people make you believe that somehow or another we're inferior, we're less capable, and that we had the bar lowered for us to be able to access these same schools.
But once we get into school, I'm just asking.
Yeah, there is no special class. You got to take the same class. There's nobody grading you differently.
Exactly.
If it's on a curve, it's on a curve for everybody.
Right.
If it's not, I mean.
But that's why we have to not let racism even rent space, in your temple. And I think we do it sometimes. Again, the argument isn't that white people's ice is colder. That ain't the argument. This is a resource issue. And when people go like, oh, you want to be white, I don't know what that is, first of all. No, you want the same thing. Again, I wish that there was differences when people hear Pete Hessick said, oh, we're going to use merit. Okay, in the military, one of the things, either you can fire the weapon accurately or you can't, right? So your marksman medal is based on your ability to be able to hit the target. That ain't got nothing to do with lowering standards. And when people hear that, but here's the problem.
But let's be clear. As we saw, like with the 688 and many, military divisions that have black people in it, we was required to hit the target, but with inferior machinery. We were required to hit that same target with, what did the sisters come in and say? We didn't even have beds. We didn't have, we had to come in and recreate everything to even be able to do the work in the first place. You set us up to fail. I talked about the brothers that were the first, was it Navy officers who said they took away the learning with the instruction. We had to teach ourselves. And then they restricted the hours by which we could learn. So we had to learn at night when everybody was supposed to be in bed.
Let me tell you what the enemy will do. The enemy will put you in a situation where, first of all, they're not giving you what you need to do what you do. So two things can happen. If you do it, we knew Michelle could do it. If you don't do it because you don't have the necessary resources to get done what you need to get done, see, I told you.
But even
it's always that setup.
What did I say with that same story about those officers that all went through the officer training program? 16 of them went through. All 16 of them had the highest scores that they had seen in the military on that particular test. 13 get brought in, 3 get excluded. No reason, no rationale. So sometimes we know too, we can show up and do everything that's been required, demanded, and asked of us and still not get the job, still not get the promotion, still not get the raise. But we did everything.
Chuck Yeager.
So it wasn't just that I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it, but I'm not paying you.
Chuck Yeager, real quickly before we go to break. Chuck Yeager. He's a hero astronaut, right? Broke the sound barrier.
All right.
Black astronauts will tell you one of the biggest impediments for black astronauts was Chuck Yeager. What I'm saying is that you had people there, and for no other reason than maybe what Craig talks about, white inferiority. That's the problem Trump has with Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Barack Obama is the man he wants to be.
Right.
But he ain't never going to be Barry. He ain't going to be Barry. Because Barry, because he got to be right. Because Barry coming down those Air Force One stairs. Oh my God! And he from Hawaii.
The leg cross though, bro.
Oh man.
How you?
And let me do this because Rhonda pointed this out.
What?
What's happening with Michelle Obama's legs there? Anybody notice anything significant? This is the inauguration parade. What you see there?
Oh, pantyhose.
No pantyhose.
Did she have them on that one? Because I know she had started not wearing pantyhose.
I think does it
She
look
looked
like
like she
she's
got
had them
some
on?
on,
Yeah,
'cause it
because it
was
was
cold
cold that
that
day. Yeah.
Yeah, she better. Yeah, she got pantyhose on.
But
on
Rhonda
this
said the once they saw her going like bare leg,
one. Yeah,
a whole lot of sisters came out of pantyhose.
yeah, no, but yeah,
Looks like she did, and that
I
would have
think she
made
might
sense
have on
that
this
day.
one, but yeah, but
That
she
made- 'cause it
definitely,
was bitter
but
cold.
remember when she went sleeveless?
Yeah.
Everybody lost their mind.
She had the guns.
How
for it,
did
though.
she had the guns?
She had the guns.
How dare you show your arms?
Michelle, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I know that you had a lot going on, and the fact that you made your way over, I really, really, really appreciate that,
Wouldn't
and
have
really
missed it. It was
appreciate
great.
you. And I did see her back there taking copious notes. So he said, "What?" You're listening to Community Voice. Callers, I see you. I'm going to grab you after the break. Hey, you know what? We have a giveaway contest. So we're going to do that a little bit later on in the program. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Hello.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning, Keith. How you doing?
Good, George. What's happening?
Michelle didn't leave, did she? Because I kind of wanted both y'all on the conversation. I was hoping she didn't leave.
Yeah, she's gone.
Oh man. Okay. So, let me turn this TV because I had to come into the living room because I couldn't hear what y'all were saying, so I had to come in on the living room because I've been home for so long. You guys were kind of hitting on some of the stuff, and I guess where my frustration comes in, which you guys were kind of talking about earlier today on your conversation, is what do you do with this pent up frustration? Because a lot of times when I call your show or I call her show, you guys can hear the frustration that's built up in me. And DJ kind of hit on it on Friday. It's just like you saw how Pam Bondi was acting. Then I'm pretty sure you saw how Ron Johnson was acting, right?
Right.
And it's just like, why do they get to always flip the scenario? Angry black man, angry black woman, when they're just as angry. And a lot of times, to me, and I could be wrong, you could correct me, some of that anger that's coming out of them ain't even justified. How he treated the attorney general the other day was very disrespectful, very disrespectful. And so what do you do with that frustration sometimes? You get so frustrated and
But
I'm losing my thought.
But notice Keith Ellison didn't let him throw him off his square. He stayed
No,
focused.
he did not.
He stayed focused. And that, look, man, that's how it works, man. Look, first of all, it's political theater. Dems are doing it. Republicans are doing it. Jasmine Crockett is, that's her gift, that you can go out and you can do certain things. Is provocative, is thought-provoking, is gunning. That's what we call it in the community, right? Capping. But, if you can do that in such a way where you're going to be, I think the word is strategic, right? How do you channel that anger and that frustration into a strategic response to what it is that you're seeing and that you're experiencing? I'm not telling people that what they're feeling is not real. It is real, right? And then I was asking myself rhetorically the question, based on everything you see, how come you not mad? How could you not be angry with what you see? So, yeah, the frustration.
I believe you are. I believe you're just as angry as everybody else, Keith.
No, I'm not talking about me particularly. I'm just saying there are people out there who's like, there's nothing to see here. And I'm going, there's a whole lot to see here. I have my wife is she's my militancy haberdasher. And so she puts me in all these message kind of T-shirts. And I have one from George Orwell, who, and I'm paraphrasing, in book 1984, he says that they tell you not to see what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see what we see. We experience what we experience. The trauma's real.
Here, let me give you an example. And it's just really coming back to vitalization. When hey guys, I'm gonna close this door for a minute, okay? When Martin Luther King got assassinated, and what happened to a lot of our major cities, and it was here.
Right.
We went and we burned down our stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 3rd Street is really just now. How many years was that, Keith? That was back in what, 67, 68, something like that, 69?
Yep. When
that happened?
Yep.
And 3rd Street is just now really making a comeback. Would you agree?
Yeah. And I thought about that, George. You right on point. There's a documentary called it's like Burn, MF Burn, and it's about the 92 rebellion after the Rodney King verdict. And there was a woman there, and I think she was like a therapist. She was a psychologist. And, she said, you know what? I understand why they were out burning. I understood the anger. And then she said there was a part of me that wanted to go out and be a part of that. But then I had to fall back and realize that's a momentary expression of the anger that might have a long-term negative impact on the people who were angered. So, yeah, you're making a great point. I mean, that there are times, man, that you want to sit up and that your first thing is to swing back, right? That's your first instinct, right? Fight or flight. And then, we learn, and that's the piece that that one, maybe I don't know how many words are in that particular scripture, Ephesians 4:26, where Paul says to be angry but to sin not. The translation I used yesterday, to be angry but not to let the anger become your sin. Because then, and that's what I was saying to folks, that don't sin talking about sin. Okay, because then you delegitimize your righteous indignation, or I delegitimize my righteous indignation because I'm criticizing the sin, but then I'm sinning. And how that's the problem I have right now with Bishop Wooten. You might have strong thoughts and feelings. When you start sitting up saying that you let her dress like a whore, you're sinning now. I don't care how anybody, you can say what you want to say, but that is directed. Right. And you can say, I wasn't talking about her. You were talking about her. And I think that sometimes in our anger, we feel like, oh man, I can say whatever because I'm angry and this is wrong. Okay. But it isn't anger. I gave you the example yesterday, and my brother and I laughed, where I said, now my mother had a rule in her house. I don't know if you had it in your house. My mama said, I'm not going to whoop you now because I am so angry I will kill you. And me and Gary was talking after church yesterday. And I said, the last time I checked, murder is a sin. Last time I checked, right? So, and only one time my mama violated that rule. And I'm telling you, me and Gary were laughing about it yesterday. We said, dude, we had never felt like we were so close to death as we were on that day. So
Keith, and it's so hard to walk that thin line, man. It is so hard to contain that, because I think where you're going is like when Jesus said, "Turn the other cheek," right? I think that's where you're going with that, and it's so hard to do that, because Keith, I'm gonna tell you something. Craig was on your show, and it was so good to see him again. Do you know how much that brother helped me, man? Because you know what happened to my baby.
Right.
And I wanted to turn that into some Wakefield and McCoys. And I had to step back, and I had to say, well, his people didn't have nothing to do with that. That was him.
I mentioned Craig in the message yesterday.
Yeah, but when that happens, your rage can make you so blind to what's going on around you that if somebody don't step in and diffuse that situation, and sometimes you go, because some people can throw fire on it, because trust me, Keith, there was people that was ready to go cowboy up that night. And if it wasn't.
And then what, then what happens? I mean, one, you're not bringing the loved one back. Two,
right.
There's more casualties in the family, because now not only have we lost someone to death, we've lost someone to prison time, right? So but you're right. It is hard, man, when you're in that moment. The example, let me give a sports example. Y'all remember, was it 83? The Lakers Celtics? Lakers was like rolling. I mean, it was showtime for real. And then Larry Bird, the game that they really blew him out, Larry Bird said that the Celtics were playing like sissies, right? So you remember Kurt Rambis went in for the layup. And Kevin McHale
clotheslined him, I think, or something.
Right. And the Lakers will tell you, they said, we started focusing on fighting, not playing. And the Celtics were able then to win. That's the point. You get thrown off your square. Now they've been running. It was showtime at its finest. But then you get into things, and that's the danger. You have to have a disciplined response. Maybe that's when we should hear the voice of the Holy Spirit. Or maybe there's another scripture that says that there's no temptation that is known to man. But then you got to keep reading. The scripture says that God will allow an avenue of escape. But you got to be willing to take that avenue.
One more thing, and I'm going to get off so some other people can get on, because I know I've been kind of going long. And keep the discussion we were having last week, it wasn't about you, because you did what you were supposed to do. I guess all of us, our frustration was when you see a brother acting like that, it's just frustration, especially when the part later on when you asked him when he thought that being wasn't racist, and he said no, he didn't think it was racist. It's just like you get frustrated. That's what the part I was just. I didn't think he took it serious. I thought it was a joke. But as far as what I'm concerned with you handled your business. Man.
But you know what? But and here and George, I was thinking about this thing about you. Because I don't know if y'all know this. And this is why sometimes I don't even want to have conversations about the program after the program, right? But I was thinking, remember when people would say that we hate the sin, but we still love the sinner? Remember we primarily towards gay people, we hate the sin, but we don't hate the sinner. And I thought, well, shouldn't you extend that same grace to someone that you are vehemently politically opposed to? And that's what I was saying. Be careful in our judgment, where judge the message, but do not condemn the messenger, unless the messenger is doing something that is causing. And people could say this is causing bodily harm. That's a real extraction. But I'm just saying, in terms of, so I can condemn the message without condemning the messenger and sending the messenger to hell. That is not my place.
Keith, it is so hard.
I know.
It is real hard.
And that's what I was saying about be careful about your judgment, because I can do that, man, because there's some Negroes, I was going to drop the N word. There's some Negroes I want to put in hell. I ain't going to even lie to you. I'm not looking at right now. All right, you look.
No, not me, man.
You see right now, look at all of them.
Not me. No, sir.
The beach should put me in hell 4-5 times, so. But no, have a problem with the message, and George just hit it. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. All right, you're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, young folks. How y'all doing?
I'm good,
You
man.
know, I was listening to you guys earlier about but the repass. Brother Nate was my friend. His repass was a Valentine's Day send off.
Mm.
It was just gorgeous. I mean, if you would have just seen the ambiance of the room and the people that was there, the food and everything was just it was, Michelle, she know how to do it.
Man, real talk.
I remember her 60th birthday party. She had the red carpet layout. The limo was so long it looked like it was turning. I promise you. It looked like it was turning the corner when it was turning the corner. But they're my friends. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. Let's go over to this blessed Black history. Because I'm a single father, 15-year-old daughter. And her last school year, she was at another school, and that was her last year. But it was a young girl there trying to bully her. And I always tell my daughter, come to me. Not unless you got to defend yourself right away. Right. Come to me and talk to me, and I'll tell her how to deal with it. So I told her to go to her teacher and talk to security. And she did, but the one teacher was pregnant. So she left right after she had told her about the situation. So now the young girl continued to bully my daughter. I'm going to get this story quick. So as she continued to bully my daughter came, and before she come back to me, the girl came in, and my daughter coming out of her coat, she's getting ready to deal with it because she's tired of it. So now they have this one principal, which was a white lady. She grabbed my daughter. My daughter snatched back away from her, and she gave her a 5-day suspension. And I asked her what warranted a 5-day suspension. She said, well, she was getting ready to fire. I said, hold on. Do you even know what happened? And I said, did you even investigate anything? So you just throw a 5. I said, you know what? I do not like white folks coming from other areas, coming in to judge our children, not figuring out what's going on. Our children has been through enough. For you to come in and give my daughter a 5-day, and Brell, give her a 5-day suspension. That is just ludicrous. So I went on and let her stay out the 5 days we dealt with. But when we came back, there was a black man and a black woman sitting next to in the middle, each side of the white woman. And I looked at the white woman, and she started trying to read my daughter the riot act. And I said, hold. I'm not going to sit here and allow you to read my daughter the riot act when you are out of order. I said, see, we go around here and we let you guys prejudge us and mistreat us. I said, but you was out of order because you never investigated what was going on. My daughter had been bullied time after time. She had told. She talked to everybody. And the young lady kept continuing on. And I said, now, instead of you finding out what's really going on, you gave my daughter a 5-day suspension, was on her record. And now, you think I'm going to let you sit here and continue on with it? I said, let me share something with you, lady. You can take your white attitude and your judgment back where you got them from. Because our children have been through enough. Now, the young lady who you didn't suspend her, but you suspended my daughter. Now the young lady is kicked out of school because that was her last straw. So if you'd have looked into it, you'd have seen she wasn't only offending my daughter, but 3 other children in the school. Their parents were tired of it. I said, we go through this as people. And I talked to my daughter about this before. And I asked her, I said, baby, do you think we should continue to fight? You should continue to fight the fight of our ancestors, or just let it go? And she said, continue to fight. I said, why would you say that, baby? She said, because otherwise, if we don't continue to fight, we're going to continue to be mistreated unfairly. Our children need to understand. You can't give up. I'm looking at that movie with Tyler Perry. It's a little provocative. It's real provocative. But it sends out a positive message. And I wish you would tone the provocative part down a little bit, because the children need to really see the movie.
All right.
Because he was teaching them about their history. And the little boy was like, he wanted to wipe out Black history. He didn't care about Black history. He wanted to go to school in a predominantly white college. But the thing was, he was a, hey, look, Dr. King went to this college, you know, and he said, I don't want to go there. That's racist, you know. But at the end of the story, he's seeing the difference. And our children really need to see the difference, because they don't see. This media is showing them that you can wipe out what we fought for.
But it's our responsibility.
It is.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
Bless you.
Yep. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Make sure I take you off speaker. Yeah, I was hearing y'all talking, and from my point of view, I'm not really a big fan of turning the other cheek and being a bigger person, because you give them the green light to keep doing what they're doing, and that's why we are where we are right now. Okay, when you look at turning the other cheek and playing the bigger person, that's why we got all these derelicts and transients and deplorables on the north side, okay? Because they feel we should be okay. Now, I could sit here and say, I'm going to turn the other cheek because somebody put a ladder on the side of my house and stole my floodlights. But I could turn the other cheek and say, maybe they didn't pay their electric bill, so they had to take my floodlights because they didn't want to go steal. Yes.
Let me ask you a question. And I heard that. How do we I don't know why and it seems I don't hear, and I listen to white evangelicals and I listen to other white, I never hear that preached. Why is that preached just to Black people?
Because they don't want Black people to bring them down to where they need to be. Because you figure if you keep playing a bigger person, you can continue to be a punching bag. I'm not going to be a punching bag.
But I don't think, but you know, even with Dr. King, I think people miss this. It was called nonviolent resistance. And even resistance. There's resistance to, you know, because someone talked about, I don't know who mentioned, was that Jermaine? Who mentioned when we were talking about the all the different riots after Dr. King died, and Rodney King, and you know, even George Floyd in certain areas, Michael Brown. That we go in, and in that moment, we didn't turn the other cheek. Well, now, but in my mind, turn the other cheek is, how do I strategically respond to get these folks off of me?
Well, this is how you look at life. If you add violence against nonviolence, it's still going to end in violence. And they still going to do what they do because they know nonviolence does not come with repercussions. Prime example, like I can turn the other cheek because somebody stole my floodlights, right? But I can park my car and act like I'm not at home. And next time they put that ladder on my house, I push them off that ladder and they fall. I hope they break their neck.
So
and I kick them in their head and hit them with a sledgehammer, and they won't do it again.
But Al, turn the other cheek it doesn't mean that you don't take action. So let's say you don't turn the other cheek, and then well, he's on your property, so that makes it a little bit.
Well, I tell you this,
because you do have the right to defend your property. So.
You're right. You're right. But see, here's the thing. When he come back and I hit him with that sledgehammer and take that meat cleaver and go down his back, them 5 minutes will teach them sticky fingers. Never put your hands on nobody else's property. Steal from your mammy. You go steal from that white man. You don't be a nigga and come touch my house. You steal from your mama that failed you and your daddy who didn't do right in raising you and who should have left you on the steps of the church or spent that $300 to be an abortion, or they should have spit rather than letting you flood that vessel. But because your mama was nothing but a female dog and your daddy was nothing but a
got it.
You're here stealing from people.
Got it, bro. All right, man. Appreciate you. Turn the other cheek, though. I mean, that seems to be part of our little theology that no one seems to follow. So, you know, I don't know. And maybe that might be something that I need to do a deep theological dive in to see do an exegesis on context, why that was. But you have the right, you know, your humanity demands that you have the right to defend yourself in order to survive. So nobody's tripping on that. But And I think that people have taken that nonviolent resistance. People don't realize the amount of courage it took to sit there when to move the needle, because quite frankly, it did move the needle.
So let me ask you this, Doc. So what do you do when you run out of cheeks? Like, how do you respond? After you try to,
you know what?
away,
That's one of those things. That's one of those scriptures. Yeah, I never preached about that because I think the way, again, and I don't hear white evangelicals preaching that. I don't even really hear the Catholic Church, because Catholic Church has something called just war. So, I mean, I think it's for, Al brings up a good point, it's for black folks. And so instead of it being resistance, it becomes docility, right? Like when I say, stay on your square, doesn't mean to be stagnated. You keep moving. You stay in your lane, keep your eye, as Michelle said, keep your eye on the prize. But no, I don't even know why we sit up here. That one is something that I hear some folks. That's great. I think there are people out there whose witness has been that to a fault. But my humanity is still my humanity, and I'm not going to deny my humanity. And part of my humanity is survival. So,
question: if somebody walked in your house and in front of your wife, they slapped you. I mean, even though you are a man of the cloth, you are still human. So, like that whole,
I'm a punk. You gonna want me in front of my wife? In front of my wife?
Oh man!
And I don't do nothing.
You're like,
first of all, she gonna divorce me.
No, she gonna jump in
and wait a minute, and then leave with him. Because I was thinking, I didn't incorporate in the message yesterday because I only had a half an hour. But I was thinking about keeping it real when he went up in the club. But when his girl jumped on him, get him. I was like, no, man, that would be a tough one. I'm gonna have to fight.
Well, yeah, what?
I'm gonna have to fight.
I mean, but from the human side,
yeah.
And this is probably why you supposed to ask God to, forgive you for sins that you seem, that and that you don't know, because again, we all sin daily.
Uh-huh.
So
I tell people I might not be as saved as you think I should be.
Now, question though. Now, back in the Bible days, they fought, but it wasn't considered a sin.
Well,
now, even though the Bible said get angry and sin not, is fighting considered a sin?
It depends on the circumstances.
But how?
It depends on the circumstances. One side doesn't fit all. I think that some things are just that. But man, that scenario you just
beat up.
Oh yeah, got to, man. Because like I said, she getting a divorce lawyer. Why are you divorcing him, Miss Parris? Oh, he a punk. Oh, call him to the whoop in front of you. Sometimes you gotta defend your honor right out. I'm just telling you, man. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning to you, my man.
Good morning, brother.
I was listening to one of the lower callers before the other guy called in, the guy that was talking about the child at school. And it struck a chord with me because normally I would probably go along with some of that, but in reality, is when we as parents go into a school, right, and we take the kid side in the presence of that kid, and if we are very aggressive, you might as well move that kid on out that school, because if they do excel, it'll be because they really wanted it. But as far as getting help, the teachers wind up staying out them kids' way, because they don't want that parent to come up there and get belligerent or get irate or even violent. So what you do when you do that, when you do that, especially in the front of a kid, take the kid's side. The teacher's back, like you just limited your kids' education there, because the teachers are afraid at that time.
But Meech,
I found out
Meech,
the kid ain't never right.
but no, that's
even when he is right.
Meech, you having a different
Kid is
conversation.
never right, even when he right.
Meech, you having a different
Because if he
conversation,
right-
man.
Huh?
You having a different conversation. This was about bullying and
I
how this
understand
child and how, no, but there's a difference between now a parent coming up to school because Keith is tripping, my bad behavior. I agree with you. You don't, certainly in front of the child, you don't do it. But sometimes your child, let's say your child is right. Okay. How that becomes very difficult. Now, what we've noticed is that many instances your kid was as wrong as two left shoes. And then you come up because whatever reasons you going through what you going through and you're in denial. I used to have people who get mad at me because I would kick their kids out of youth events. I go, you know, your kid was bad at the crib. You know, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I understand.
Well, hold on. We go back. You can go back to the bullying concept of it, and I understand that. I understand it, and I'm wondering, and it's not really my business, but was she getting ready to fight the bully?
Yes.
Or was she getting ready to fight another kid?
No, she's getting ready to fight the
thing
bully.
is, man, the thing is that even if it was bullying, then I heard my man say something else. He says, what our kids have been through. I don't know what our kids been through. Our kids ain't been through nothing. We done spoiled them. We done gave them everything.
I disagree
man,
with that.
we done gave them kids
No,
everything. Dude, them kids do
your
not know nothing
kids,
about
but I'm telling you, man,
kids.
there are kids out there right now. I give you the most graphic example was those 6 kids who had to live in a storage bin. You cannot tell me that those kids have not been traumatized, if they're not permanently damaged. So what I'm saying is that kids are experiencing. Huh?
Keith, that's not due to the system. That's due to
who said it was?
No,
nobody said anything about the system because most of the trauma that these kids experience are in the homes at the hands of their parents.
That's right.
So I mean that let's not.
So what have they been through that we didn't inflict on them ourselves?
That's my point. But you say we spoil them. Some kids are spoiled. Certainly, some kids are certainly materially better than we were.
Even those kids.
But I'm telling you that there's still a significant portion of kids who are sitting out here dealing with very traumatic environments, dude.
Keith, even those kids that were in that storage area, right? They even had bicycles and stuff. People, that's how they got seen out there. They was riding the bikes around.
Man, come on, me.
Hold on. Hold on. They were seen by other people that stored there. Seen them riding.
You had a bicycle, but you living in a storage bin?
Hey, man.
That makes it better. Hey, at least we got bikes.
Whatever it was, they gave the kids back. So evidently, it wasn't as bad as it was. Now, what they try to do is charge the failure.
That's the failure in the system because it sounds like these folks have been in the system.
No, maybe they was mismanaging their funds, man. The rent is $1,800, $1,200, and you know what?
My understanding was that they had been kicked out of shelters, more for the parents, not the kids. What I'm saying, and that's the piece of it sometimes that we miss because I think sometimes we can be so cavalier.
And by the way, I want that brother to know that I'm not attacking him in no kind of way. Okay. I'm just simply saying what I've dealt with. Is when you go, I want the brother to understand that I'm not attacking him, man, because that's his loved one, that's his daughter, you know, that's his son, whatever.
Anybody, have you ever been bullied?
Yeah, until I learned something.
Okay, but have you ever been bullied?
You know, my uncle said, just hit the bully right in the eye. Hit him in the eye hard as you can.
But what I'm saying until
you know what I did? Hold on, you know what I did?
What you do, man?
I hit the bully right in his eye, and he fell down on the ground, and he was crying. You know what? The bully, when he then got his brother and them, he get me.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. I don't play.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Most bullies are scary anyway, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they are really scary, but they use tactics.
And one of my favorite bully stories is when the brother called in a couple of months ago, and you know we were having our revolving conversation about mock chicken leg days. He said how dude was like robbing him every day, but he said he decided to fight on mock chicken leg day. Sometimes that's just what it takes, Clark.
Yeah, man.
That's what it takes. Colin, welcome to the program. Good morning.
What's up, my brother?
Hey, man, I'm trying to make it happen, Captain.
That's what's up. Hey, you know, I think when you're in high school, you need to have like little friends and stuff to help with all that bullying stuff. Have you a little clique, and that will help a lot. Hey, but this one little boy was walking home, and he seen his father get beat up by the neighbor, and so the father fighting and the neighbor whooping him pretty good. So then he went in the house, and the father asked him to, can you clean up the room? He said, you don't want me to go get the neighbor, do you?
Oh, that's bogus.
Hey man, why I got you? We gave you a hard time, but Rhonda loved that last joke you told. So Rhonda said, I thought it was funny. See, see right out, you'd have put it out
He
there,
was
man.
bogus for that one. You want me to go get the neighbor? I ain't clean up nothing.
Welcome to the
Whoa.
Oh, don't let me call the neighbor on you. Caller, welcome to the program.
Dog, that was foul. That was so foul.
Oh, come on. Don't be a hater, man. That was a good one.
But listen, I don't agree with me too much, but I agree with him twice. First, with the bully thing, I always teach my grandkids and kids that beat up, he like the Indians, they say don't kill what they used to call him, the medicine man, and the fight is over. So you hit the bully and the flunkies fall in their place because they scared. But more than what I really wanted to talk about was Leach touching on them kids living in that storage unit.
Yeah.
And I truly have to agree. I'm not glamorizing. Let me put my disclaimer out there. Let me put it out there twice. But them kids weren't as bad off because you know what they never said about them kids? They were malnutrition. They needed medical attention. I think that was a temporary fix due to bad decisions made by the parenting that led up to another bad decision. Like you said, they were kicked out of shelters.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think them kids were as bad off because trust me, if they were, we would have saw every bump on them kids' arm. And they never said anything about their weight or their health.
But what about
now they got something up in Beaver Dam where the 4 fat people.
But what I was talking about was
this kid that weighed 14 years old, weighed about 17 pounds or something like that.
But what about
that's when you know the kids.
What about the
do
emotional and psychological?
But like you said, I don't agree because they had a bike. But it's some people living in a house with their parents or who's ever supposed to be taking care of them that's going through hell, probably worse than the kids that was in that shelter. I just wanted to say that. Thanks.
But you know, there's also the emotional and psychological damage that's being done, and you know, we just rely on the resilience of children that they're able to, you know. But no, I'm okay. All right. Hey, when we get back, we're going to do our Black History Trivia contest. Not that Black history is ever trivial, but we'll have a Black history question, and you can win 2 tickets to the Sound of Gospel that's coming up this weekend. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. tickets to the Sound of Gospel this weekend. And if that'd be the 21st or 22nd. 22nd. It'll be Sunday the 22nd. So all you have to do is answer this really easy Black History question. So again, the phone line is open if you want to win 2 tickets to the Sound of Gospel. The phone lines are open. And again, it's a really, really, really easy Black History question. Because when Doug told us we had to do it, I said, boy, because when Carolyn write them, ooh, I thought I knew, but Carolyn would be like, ooh, man, I'm going to do some research. So 414-444-5250 if you're interested in winning tickets for the Sound Gospel. Really simple question, so I don't want anybody to feel intimidated. People knew when I used to be a trainer, I was training managers, I could ask some really hard questions. They wouldn't really be hard, but if you studied the material, they wouldn't be hard if you didn't study the material. All-Star Weekend. So if you gave it I know you were in and out on it. So if you just gave it a grade from 1 to 10 the entire weekend, what would you grade it at? 3. I'm gonna give it a 5 because I certainly enjoyed the 3-point shooting contest. That was really good to see Damon Lillard and.
I didn't think it was fair.
Devin, why wasn't it fair?
Because if you're gonna allow him, because first of all,
Craig Hodges won it when he was out the league.
I know, but then they changed the rule that you got to have a certain amount of 3-pointers for the season, and your percentage got to be a certain amount for you to.
Well, they said the story was he went to the NBA because the NBA really
because they struggling.
Yeah, and they asked,
and they need stars,
and he said, if you need me, I'll come.
Right.
I mean, and it's a difference in just shooting shots and running up and down the court, shooting shots. Yeah. But hey, man, let me shout out Dame. Man, I understand things didn't quite work out here in Milwaukee, but it wasn't because of him. It really.
Do you think he
wasn't
faked
because
the
of
injury?
Him. No. Oh, how do you fake an Achilles?
See, but how you come back so soon?
He's not back.
Man, to shoot a 3-pointer, you have to have.
I
that,
mean, he's at a certain level of
strength.
recovery, but he's not back where he can run up and down the court. I mean that. But I gave it a 5. You gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And the All-Star game, they were showing on the NBA Network yesterday all these past All-Star games.
Yeah.
And there were some people out there, man. Tom Chambers one game, he was Tom Chambers. They showed Isaiah, Magic, Jordan.
Yeah.
There were some people, man, people that you forget all about.
Kawhi. What?
Kawhi?
Kawhi caught on fire.
Yeah.
He caught fire yesterday. And I think he hit like 9 in a row. He hit like 9 in a row.
Yeah. Now, I know you said you didn't. I don't know if you watched all of the.
Yeah.
But Devin Booker was on a roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he got hit with the announcer's jinx.
Yeah.
Jamal said he ain't missed a shot.
And then
it was like Clay. You believe? I believe. Do you believe the announcer's jinx?
I believe because playing the sports, you can really zero in and zone out.
But they don't hear the announcer.
But they don't hear. But as soon as you take your mind off that zone, so like he might have started thinking to himself, and when you start thinking when it's go time, that's when you mess up. And that's with anything, with singing.
Well, the crazy thing was it was his money rack.
I know. And he got to thinking, so it was like,
man.
Like soon as you have that first thought.
And, you hate to put this on a guy, but didn't he play with a team that choked off? Yeah, that Phoenix team that was. Yeah, I mean, the game was these dudes quit playing in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Game 7 Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
So, but no, and man, talking about just beautiful shots. So again, hey y'all, the phone line's open. Come on, really simple question. What, you don't trust me? You scared? It's a real simple question. Okay, let me do it this way. So you can win 2 tickets to there we go. Yeah, call. I do a lot of begging though. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I had to beg, please, for your sympathy, I don't mind. Sympathy. And buckwheat.
Buckwheat.
All right. Caller, welcome to the program.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great.
All right. You want to win these tickets?
I really, really do.
All right. This is a real, and this is multiple choice, y'all. This is multiple. And actually, I'm gonna do two because I don't know. Did Michelle get a chance to give away?
She said she's gonna do it tomorrow.
Okay. So I'll do two. All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
Really easy. This is really easy.
Okay.
Who started Tuskegee Institute? You have four choices here. Well, you can choose from four choices. Martin Delany, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass. Who started Tuskegee Institute?
Oh, wow.
Booker T. Washington, Martin
Mhm.
Delany, W.E.B. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass.
Mark Delaney.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That one came off. Caller, welcome to the program.
Booker T. Washington.
Who?
Booker T. Washington.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't know. Let me check. Are you absolutely correct? Booker T. Washington on July 4th, 1881. He started. So appreciate that. Thank you. Hold on. Jermaine is going to get your information.
All right.
All right. So enjoy the show again. You've won 2 tickets to the Sound of Gospel. Let me do another. Yeah, you get her. Okay. All right. And when Jermaine is finished, then I'll do my second trivia question. So, so did you get any of the All-Star game?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch.
Yeah, it threw people off because it started so early.
Yeah,
Because
I thought it was starting at around about 6 o'clock.
no, it was like 4 or something like that. Because we was over at the house and we were watching all those All-Star game from the past, and they did it. But a lot of that had to do with all the money NBC has put into the Olympics, and they had that Olympic coverage. So I think that's that's why they no, it's every 2 years. Every 2 years. There was a sister in the speed skating. She lost, man. Oh man. Yeah, she won the gold medal 4 years ago. But yeah, she lost, which was tough. So all right. How we doing over there? Ready? All right. Caller. Good morning. They're not there. 414. We got another set of tickets we want to give away. I have a different question. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. So I got you 3 guys. The greatest dunker of all time.
Dominique.
No Harold Miner? No Baby Jordan?
Baby Jordan. He was
I'll
trash.
throw somebody out there. Skywalker.
I was
David
about
Thompson.
to say Kenny Skywalker.
Kenny Skywalker?
Yeah, that's all he did was dunk. Now, Darvin Ham was a great dunker, too.
Darvin Ham was a great hunker. Yep. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, Keith.
Yeah. Is this
How are you?
I'm good.
Yes,
How
it
are
is.
you? Are you ready to win some tickets for the show?
I'm going to try.
All right. True or false? True or false?
Okay.
It was a black man that introduced macaroni and cheese to America. True or false?
True.
Did you say true?
Yes.
You sure?
I'm not, but I don't really know. But I'm just guessing, so that's all I can do.
That was a good guess. That is absolutely correct.
Oh, okay.
Let me give you the information. Who introduced? Oh, and if you've been listening, we did this little Black History fact. Who introduced? I just want to get his name right. Introduced. It wasn't Mr. Kraft. Macaroni, mac and cheese in America. It wasn't Big Mama either. The black man who is credited with introducing and popularizing macaroni and cheese in America is James Hemings, an enslaved chef owned by Thomas Jefferson. Hemings learned French culinary techniques, including pasta and cheese dishes, while in Paris with Jefferson during the 1780s. That's like when somebody was sitting up saying that, oh, Donald Trump, he dated black women. So did Thomas Jefferson. They were still slaves. So, all right, Ed, hold on. Right out, you got your information?
Hold on, Angela. Let me get your information, Angela. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, God. What's wrong with y'all, man? What's wrong with y'all?
Do you need the sheet?
Yeah, I need the sheet. Yeah, I need the sheet. You got another caller, Keith.
Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Yes, Keith.
Are
you had are you still doing that contest?
I just gave away the two. Yeah, why did you have an answer?
No, I didn't know what the question was.
The first question was who created Tuskegee Institute? Martin Delany, W.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, or Frederick Douglass?
It was Booker T. Washington.
That's correct. And then the second question was who introduced macaroni and cheese to America?
Who introduced macaroni and cheese?
To America, yep.
Probably some enslaved person, I don't know.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was Thomas Heming, who would have been his son, right? Thomas Jefferson's son.
Really?
Yeah, his illegitimate son. Yeah, because remember Sally Hemings?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was her brother or if that was. Yeah. Okay. How you been?
Well, I've been doing well. I've been doing well.
Good.
I've been doing well. It's been we haven't gotten any snow here, so they're worried about that. And it's pretty important here because they said they have where I live. They have the Colorado River, and they said that takes care of 40 million people. So they said if they don't get it resolved, the federal government's going to come in there. They're going to decide how much water every state's going to get.
Now, my understanding is that there's a major precipitation front moving through the West right now, and it's supposed to be dumping a lot of snow. So hopefully there'll be a lot of snow up in the mountains, and a lot of that is for the Colorado River. That's that snow that melts into the river. So they're looking at snow now. They're saying in some of the higher elevations out west. So
they're looking at, they said about 1 feet, but they'll probably need more than that.
Right.
They probably need about 4 feet or 5 feet.
I think this year we've been on the right side. We've been on the right side of weather fronts. That massive snowstorm that hit the southeast and parts of the East Coast. We just got the cold. We didn't get the precipitation. Because I tell you, it's easier to deal with cold than it is moving snow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I've another quick question I have for you too. They had somebody. He was talking about he had died, and he said he had went to some kind of heaven or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Has that died with anything that the Bible talks about when people you hear about them when they said they have died and then they get resurrected back to life or something? They come back to life and they see all these stars and see all these moons and everything else like that. Then they come back and they're floating over their body. They see people working on them and writing death certificates, and all of a sudden they lay flat down on their body. Is that a bunch of nonsense, or is something like that? Is it something? And the guy was saying that God told him, Jesus. So he said he'd met Jesus, and he said,
white or black?
He didn't say. He said he saw his nails on his. He said he saw his nails on his hands. the nails that were. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And
No,
then
I
he
just
said he saw
wondered,
his.
did he meet white Jesus or black Jesus? I didn't know which Jesus he met.
Well, he didn't. He didn't say. He just said that
Probably
he
white
just said
Jesus.
he said it was the most beautiful. He said it was. He said it was the most beautiful sight I think he ever seen. Some of the brightest colors he'd ever seen. Is that about a horse?
There are people out there, and it's not scientifically, how do you prove it? Again, I know that there was the little boy who went back and they said that he had seen relatives he knew nothing about.
Yeah.
Right.
I
mean, I don't know. I don't even know, do we even keep our same form, when we go to heaven? So
according to this guy right here, he said he didn't keep his same form or something like that.
But how did he recognize Jesus?
Well, it's because Jesus was there.
Yeah. Now I've actually heard of some stories, and I just recently read of a story of a young man that had died on his job, and he saw himself leave his body, and he went into this realm, and and in this realm he saw Christ. He couldn't see his face because it was bright, but he heard, Christ, whatever, tell him that it's not your time yet. It's not your time yet.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing this guy said.
Right, but then the question becomes, I guess for me, and here I am being a skeptic, it would be if you had no religious instruction, none, no, you know nothing about Christianity, and you die, and you see Jesus.
Yeah, well, because we all gonna see his face, though.
No, but that's not the argument I'm making. I'm making that part of that is you have been programmed. That's why I asked the question: was Jesus?
No, see,
what I'm saying, but
man
listen, what I'm asking
have a relationship with the church. He didn't read the Bible. He didn't none of that. He just knew. He just said from what I was hearing from
something about Jesus.
No, he said he saw this guy and he didn't know what it was. So he was asking, who is this guy that's standing in front of me that's looking like a pillar of fire? Like, who is this guy?
Okay.
And he said that he all of a sudden he got this sensation over his body, this common sensation.
Okay.
And he said all he started to feel was love. Like he felt love. He couldn't explain it.
Guy said the same thing.
See? So
and then he said another thing too. He said he bowed. He said every knee would bow, so he bowed.
Okay, but how would he know that? He had to have some exposure to Christian theology and Christian.
This guy, he said he was a born again Christian. This guy right here.
So the guy that I'm talking about was an atheist.
Okay,
he didn't believe in God. He didn't believe God existed.
But for atheists not to believe in God means that they have to be introduced to a concept of God. And usually that introduction to most of us is through religion or exposure some form, because religion is not just in the church, religion is everywhere.
Right.
And so, that's why if I'm being skeptical, I'm being skeptical in terms of, but there's certain things that you see, but you have a frame of reference. If I'm a person who grew up, let's say I grew up Buddhist, okay, had no exposure, and then I see Jesus in this near-death experience because you came back, so you really didn't die, right? I'm talking about when you clinically dead, buried.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, this guy was actually
because Lazarus never talked about what he saw.
Well, yeah, I don't even think they even included that in it, but he saw him when he came back. he saw. Well, I don't
know if TMZ was there talking to Lazarus. Lazarus, you've been in the grave. What was that experience like? Well, it was dark.
So he's terrible.
He said one of his whole experience about heaven and going there. He chose the most wonderful experience he had ever experienced in his life.
Yeah,
and it could be, and that could be. Have you ever had a near-death experience?
Yeah,
because your whole life flashes before
Doctor,
your
that's true.
eyes. I mean,
didn't believe that at first.
it happened to me. I
But
know it
it's
happened.
True. It is
And
true.
it was only 14 years, but
It's true, man.
everything. I'm telling you, it looked like my whole life.
Yeah, it's true.
Like
man.
right there.
Like you see everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is how the brain is wired. You
Yeah,
know,
but how would the brain know to actually take you all the way back to your childhood in that situation?
it was a trigger. It was traumatic. It triggered. And then
but why would it
but a
trigger
lot
to
of
that
people have
point?
had that experience,
No,
right?
I know I've had it.
You know, where it was just like, and I tell you, that's when I got ran over by the tractor. My whole life. That's a totally different story. I know, man. Don't ask how dude got ran over by a tractor.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to do something for all the way up to the end of Black History Month as we wrap up this program. I want to do some homework, y'all.
Okay.
Ask your parents, or if you know, why were you named what you were named?
I already got the answer for me.
Why were you named what you were named?
My mama told me she was just tired. She was exhausted. And that was the first, this right-handed guy, Keith, that was the first name that came to her mind. And then I said, well, mama, why I don't have a middle name? He said, I was too tired to think I said, wow, everybody else got middle names except me. It's 9 of us. So you got tired on the 5th one?
I can tell you the story in my name is that there was my great-grandfather who was James, my uncle James, my mother's brother, and my dad is James. So I knew based on that relationship, she wasn't going to name me James. But here's something, I don't know if my cousin is listening. So I was asking mom that the other day, and mom told me that, it wasn't going to be James. She said, originally, I was going to name you Michael. She said, but Jessie had named her son Michael. That's my cousin, Mike Westmoreland. And so then she went back to the baby book, and she came up with Keith. And that's how she ended up naming me. So think about, folks, just that is, it's Black History Month. We are making history. We Black. And so how do you, Clark, how you got your name, man?
Well, I wouldn't know, but I know my mama told me I was an oops baby.
You went by yourself. Would you think you was the only oops? A whole lot of us out there was oops.
That's hilarious.
Oops.
Oh, Sissy here. Like Sissy here.
Where it came from, but I know she said.
Yeah, it'd be part of your history, but to know your history. But yeah, why did your parents name you what your parents?
Wait, you know what, Keith, before you get up, I got to ask you this. Is it possible for a blind man to have a nightmare and tell you about it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Sight's not required for dreaming.
Now, and that's why I was going to ask you.
Preach that.
No, seriously. Now, you see how
tomorrow, man.
Tomorrow. Please remember that, because I want to hear your point from that, man. I like how you just put that.
Help us.
Sight is not required
for a dream.
Man, that's dope.
Oh.
Hey, that's dope.
All right.
Yeah,
hey,
you
Clark,
better
thank
preach
you.
it before I
Michelle,
do.
thank you. Jermaine, thank you. Debo, thank you. Listeners, we thank you. The good Lord willing, Creek the Rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace. Boy, you